I'm going to go ahead and video this demo so that I can put it on YouTube for you guys too. So I'm going to show you how to make a really generic mini teapot, but if you want to vary yours, in fact, I expect you to vary yours. Make it your own in some way. Make it unique and exciting. So, but one fairly simple way to put a teapot body together is to take 2 pinch pots. Now, if I don't like what I've done, I can trim it up. But for the most part, I don't have to worry too much about there being a little gap because I'm going to put a coil in there. So I score, score, score. And then I've already rolled out my big long coil, and I'm going to put this coil kind of on the outer edge because it's going to give me a little buffer to help blend these 2 pieces together. So I may as well blend the inside while I have access to it, at least on this side. Please don't talk while I'm giving a demo. It's super distracting. And then I won't be able to blend the inside on the other side, but that's okay. Okay. Put a little pressure on there, and then again, this coil gives me something to drag into both pieces. And it helps me fill in the gaps if my pinch pots aren't exactly flat or don't meet up exactly the right way. Then I can scrape away any extra. And like most things we make, it starts out looking kind of like a little kid did it. Looks pretty rough. Does look like an egg. But now I can grab a paddle. And the paddle will help smooth and round it. But I can also use the paddle to help change the shape. So if I don't want this to be so egg-shaped, maybe I'm making a football and I want it to be more pointy at the bottom. So if you want to make a football-themed teapot, you can totally do that. Kind of pinch this stuff out. Or maybe I want the bottom to be flat so it stands up without being roly-poly. But once these 2 are joined together, there's air trapped inside, so you can be pretty aggressive about pushing the clay around, paddling it into different shapes, and so on and so forth. So here's one I did earlier where I started to kind of facet it. Just paddle, paddle, paddle. It's starting to look kind of like a diamond. So you need to do something to make it more than just a basic teapot. Okay, so let's say this is my shape, I'm happy with it. My next step is to make a spout. So I've rolled out some slab out of, do I use recycle or new clay? New clay for slabs. And I'm basically gonna create a pizza wedge. And I'm gonna take a bite out of the top. So you've made cones before, and that's all the spout is basically a cone with the top missing. However, there are some tricks to give it some nicer shape than just a straight up cone. So while it's still open before I slip and score, I might want to put a little curvature into my spout because it's going to look kind of dorky if it just sticks straight out. So give it a little shape, show it a little love. And then I like to cradle the spout in my fingertips. I use my thumbs to bring those seams together. And I recommend that you make your spout longer than you think you're going to need it, because you can always trim it. If you feel like you need to put a little coil in there, you can. Yeah. Yep. But I think it's easier to put some curvature in it while the cone is open, like before I put those seams together. Okay. And then if this ends up being not a very big hole, I can always cut some of this away. It actually would be easier to wait till it's a little drier, but okay. So next, I've got to think, do I want my spout to stick out straight like that? Like this, or maybe more at an angle? Maybe something a little like that. So what I do is I set my body down and then kind of look at the silhouette. If you make your spout taller than your lid, the water will pour out of the lid before it comes out of the spout. Now, if you're doing like a really fun like devil teapot and you don't care about actually using it as a teapot, that's fine. But if you legit want to use this for tea, then you got to make sure that the pour edge of the spout is lower than the pour edge of where the lid is. But I can also trim that up after I've got it attached to really make sure I'm happy with it. So anyway, I put the spout at the angle I want, and then I just kind of fill in the line of where the body of my pot goes. Okay. Then I trace so I know where to put my holes. You can do one big hole, or you can make it sift the tea by doing several little holes. And then of course, slip and score to get that attached. So again, I might choose to trim this right about there. So that's probably enough demo today. I don't anticipate anybody will get much further than this. I will also put this on YouTube and Canvas, so if you need a review, it'll be there for you.